Hey y'all, this is Dale Thick Madame. Okay, so the second movie that I ended up seeing was Joker. Now, I gotta let y'all know, just in case you don't know, because I'm pretty sure I've said it before. When I was a child, I lived for all things Batman. Like I am a very huge Batman fan and all of that. Like I used to watch the cartoon religiously when I would get home from school after doing my homework, all that stuff. Live for Batman, the cartoon. Anytime anything Batman and all that stuff came out, anything that had Batman in it, I would watch it. And the video games that I would see, if I didn't play the game, I would watch somebody else play the game because you know how a lot of these video games are very realistic nowadays. Excuse me. And it's like you're watching a movie or a TV show anyway. Like that's how amazing the cinematography and all that stuff encompassed. As far as the story is concerned, yeah, that stuff is so realistic. Like it really would have you sitting up there like you're watching a TV show or a movie. And you know, like I said, any video games, TV shows, movies, all that stuff. Love it. I played Injustice, and my main characters were Harley Quinn and the Joker. Like I live for Joker. So, you know, despite how he is. So I don't think I've ever seen every single thing that ever happened in life, but I'm saying like everything that I had access to, I've seen and it's had them in there. Y'all, that movie was so good to me. I feel like the only people that didn't like that movie are people who were just expecting to see video game Joker, where it's just all fun and games and all this. And it's like, okay, he has issues. You know, he really has these issues. He, the way they had it in this movie, and y'all let me know down in the comment section if you've read any of what his history entails and all that. I've seen various different things that go into what his history is. Just like we've all seen various different things that show how Batman's family was killed and all that stuff, his parents, all that stuff. Like there are several different things. So, I'm trying to figure out how I want to start it because there are so many layers to this movie. It took everything in me not to cry before we really got into some more stuff that was going on. But yeah, y'all, he went all the way through. So the way they started it off, they actually had him as a clown doing, like, he would get booked for little stuff at like this low rent type of a job that he was at. And so one day he was outside and he had booked a gig where he had to take a sign, like a big sign, where I think they actually showed that in the preview. He had this big sign that it was like a going out of business sign, or a really big discounted type of a situation for like a furniture store or somewhere. Some kind of store that sells furniture, appliances or something. Anyway, this place, you know, they provided the sign. This wasn't a sign that they had to create. The only thing that they themselves provide is the person with the makeup on, and they're supposed to be out there in the elements, braving it all and showing that sign and making people want to come and see what's going on. So he had to mind his business, and then like a group of like teenage boys come up. They end up stealing his sign. He literally runs behind them a decent distance trying to get that sign back. He was like, hey, give me the sign back, whatever. And then he starts seeing them, and he thinks he sees all of them. He was like, man, I just want my sign back. Give me the sign back, whatever. One of them hid behind something. I don't know if it was one of those little, not trash cans, but like one of those fire escapes or whatever. And he came from behind him and hit him as hard as he could and broke it was like a wood sign, broke the sign over his head, in his face. He on the ground like halfway unconscious, and then they all come kicking and beating on him. Y'all, oh, I was so tired of my spirit. I was so tired. I was like, this is what we don't do. So this is why so many people get bullied in real life nowadays, that they go off and kill themselves. Because it's like, a lot of people will sit up there and be like, well, that's dumb of them to do that. You don't understand what's going through some people's minds. Some people already have conditions. Some people don't have anything. And then people come at them and taunt them. And it's like, who are you to roll up and try to taunt somebody? You don't know them. You don't know their struggles. You don't know what they got going on at home, but you want to try them. Just as I had been bullied, taunted, and all that. Like, people tried to get at me, of course, because I'm big. I wasn't even fat back. Like, that's the dumb part. I was not even fat. Like, when I became an adult, like, I was just like, I really was not even fat back then. Like, I literally went through puberty a little bit earlier than everybody else. I was 9 years old. And, excuse me, I was not fat. Like, I've always just, once puberty hit, you really saw the pear shape come out. So that really was it. Didn't have no stomach, didn't have no back fat, nothing. I just always had thighs, booty, hips. So I was not even fat. So I got teased for being fat. I got teased for acne because my acne was awful. Lord Jesus, I was just like, Lord. Y'all, when they came out with different gel and the other competitor, I was like, well, I heard of the other competitor and I heard a different gel and everybody else was using the other one. So I was like, oh, well, you know, if it's the same thing, let me use that different gel. It didn't do nothing for me either. But Proactiv never did anything. Y'all, basically when I turned 18, 19, 20 years old, it just stopped doing all of that. And I was just like, okay, just had to grow out of it, huh? Okay. Got teased for acne, got teased for being fat, literally got teased for being smart and doing my homework and wanting to participate in class. And it's like, really? Really? And somebody tried me before, talking about my mama, because my mama has been a room mother at various stages in my life and school, because she's never had to work. That was their agreement. That's what it was. My daddy was like, you had these kids. When I go to work, I'm gonna bring you the check, and you do what you need to do to pay these bills and feed us and clean the house, do whatever you're gonna do. I do my part, you do your part. We live happy and amazing life, and that's what it was. So, y'all, I was just like, what you not gonna do is talk about, like, I saw red. Somebody talked about my mama, and I was so upset that I went home and I told my mama what happened, and she was like, why are you worried about that? And I was like, because they talking about you. Like, y'all, I was in tears. Like, I was so upset. It's like, why are you talking about my mama? So my mom was like, I am not worried about all of that. They talked about Jesus. I don't care nothing about it. I was like, okay. You know, I was a child. I was just like, no, what we're not gonna do is talk about my mama. So I fully understand people going through stuff like that. It's a lot. It can be traumatizing, especially when you have groups of people rolling up on you doing this stuff. Like, it's trifling. And sometimes it just made me think, like, what kind of parents do y'all have if you act like this? Now, granted, as I got older, I understood that some of the parents were trash and some of the parents weren't, and their children were just doing the most to try to get attention. Whether it was because they weren't getting the attention that they wanted or needed from their parents because their parents worked so much, or whatever, like the parents were divorced, wasn't together, daddy wasn't in the house, somebody was strung out on drugs, and like, it was various things that was going on. But I was just like, that's crazy. But yeah, y'all, I said all that to say he was going through, he was traumatized, and he had a lot of mental stuff going on with him. So when all that stuff happened, he just balled up in a knot, was getting kicked and stomped, and he was getting beat down. It was just crazy. I just can't. Y'all, I don't want to really go much, very deep into what happened specifically, like how I did with the last one, but more so with what he was struggling with. He had a lot of things that were going on psychologically, and it's real life situations. A lot of things that happened to him triggered something inside of him. And it's like when I saw that movie, like, The Social Worker in me was just like, I was so hurt. I was so hurt. It's like I wish I could have reached through the screen to help him, because there are people out there who really are like that. Y'all, I was so tired. I was just like, Lord, why? I'm talking about, there were so many times that I had to hold back the tears. Like, he was going through. Then his mama was at the house going through. Come to find out, she got all these mental issues. He had been adopted all this time. She had been telling him that his daddy was Bruce Wayne's daddy. And now, y'all, Y'all, I was tired. It was just too much going on. I was like, what is going on right here? Like, this too much. And then he done went to confront the man. He done told him, yeah, what is not is what I'm not is your daddy. Like, your mama crazy. Yeah, she used to work for us a long time ago. And she actually had been admitted to hospitals and all this other stuff. Like, she was crazy as they come. And he ended up going to the, what is it, Arkham, hospital or somewhere, and not Arkham Asylum, went to the Arkham, some kind of Arkham hospital or something that is still in existence. Because at first when I saw it, I had to realize, I was like, oh, this is New York. They love to talk about how trash is just thrown everywhere. I was just like, Lord have mercy, why? But yeah, y'all, he went up to the place and he asked for her records. And y'all know the dude, if y'all watch Atlanta, I don't forget what his real name is, but the dude who played Paperboy, he was the administrative clerk or whatever, and he went to go and get her records because since it had been like 30 or so years, his stuff was in like this vault, like when I worked at ASU, and I had to go get certain records. Like if I was still working there right now, I would have to go and get my mama's stuff out of a vault. I think that they said that they were going to transfer everything to the computer and put it in the system and all this. I don't know if they ever did, but I literally had to go down in a vault every day to get people's transcripts, to make copies of them if they wanted copies and all that stuff. But that's what he had to do. He literally had to go get this woman's file. He had to go search for it. And he was reading off some of the stuff. And then he got to the point where he was like, wait a minute. Oh, Lord, y'all. He stopped his own self from talking. The most was going on. And he was like, okay, what is going on? He was like, you said that, you know, she's your mother, right? Y'all, it was just, y'all, that woman had been lying to him. She stayed writing letters like several times a week or at least once a week to this man, like, we need you. And he was just like, why is she, like, he was so tired of his mama a little bit that one day he was like, why is she always talking about I need to put a letter in the mail to this man? Because he was like, you know, the mayor. I wanted to know why all that was going on. Y'all, he opened up that letter one day and was like, me and your son need you. He looking like, what? So that's what made him be like, all right, there's too much going on right here. He done killed people. He done did the most. Y'all, when he rolled up on that man, he explained what the situation was, and he was like, I know my mother's not lying, or whatever he said. And then the man ended up punching him in the nose. I said, oh, God, no. Why you had to punch him? And, y'all, oh, my gosh, y'all, I know I'm all over the place, but that movie tore my nerves down. I was just like, oh my gosh. All I got to say is I'm so glad that I never got to see that in the movie theater. I kept saying, oh, I want to see this. Oh, I want to see this. And the person I was supposed to go see the movie with, it never panned out. So I'm like, well, dang, I really wanted to see that movie while I was in the movie theater. Y'all, the Lord knew what he was doing. He knew I did not need to see that movie in the movie theater. He already knew I was going to be up in there boo crying some more. Like, I was tired. That movie was so good. That movie was good. Like, if you actually have a heart and you understand that mental illness and bullying and all that stuff exists, feel free to watch it. Like, you would understand the movie. You would appreciate it. But I don't know. Some people might not like it. But I enjoyed that movie. That movie was so good. Like, that man turned out to be what he was because of his environment. A lot of people turned him into the monster that he ended up being. It just is what it is. That's just the truth of it all. And I was just so sad for him. Like, I could not. I'm like, I fully understand why you did what you did. Like, everybody around you trying you day in and day out. The people at his job didn't like him. Y'all, oh Lord, it was just too much. But anyway, I feel like I'm gonna cry just thinking about it again, y'all. It was a lot. But anyway, I hope I didn't ramble too much. If I did, I'm sorry. But this was just off the top of my head, but it was just a lot. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will come back to y'all with one more movie review of something that I saw that's out now that I enjoyed. I didn't know if I was gonna like it like that, but I mean, it's apparent that I should have already known I was gonna like it, but yeah. Anyway, I'll see y'all a little bit later. Bye.